You know, the internet we use every single day, it feels like it's at a crossroads. It's this incredible tool that connects us, but man, it can also divide us. So today, we're going to dive into a plan to fix it, a vision that comes straight from the mind of the guy who invented it in the first place.
Take a look at that number, 5.5 billion. That's how many of us are using the World Wide Web today. It has totally reshaped our world, and it all started with a simple but really powerful idea.
That was the dream, right? Back in 1989, Sir Tim Berners-Lee pictured this utopian space, a democratic force for humanity, a place for collaboration and creativity. But, as we all know, that's not always the web we experience today, is it?
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at that original promise. Then, we'll get into how things got kinda nasty. After that, we'll explore a plan to take back our data, and finally, we'll touch on the next huge challenge, AI.
All right, let's start at the beginning with that original promise. In the early days, its inventor said the excitement was just, quote, uncontainable. The whole vision was for this open, collaborative tool that would benefit all of humanity.
So where did it go wrong? How did that dream get derailed? Well, it really started to go sideways when money entered the picture. Commercialization. That's when the pursuit of profit began to reshape the web's very architecture.
If you look at this timeline, you can really see the turning points. The 90s brought in commercialization, which Berners-Lee actually called the first corruption. But the real massive wake-up call, that was 2016, when the US elections showed the world just how manipulative and toxic the web could become.
And this right here really shows the gap between the two. The promise of collaboration and creativity has, in some of the most powerful corners of the web, given way to a reality of addiction, polarization, and constant surveillance. The contrast is just stark, and it's something we all feel.
What's interesting is that Berners-Lee thinks most of the web is still good. The problem is what he calls the red corner, this small but super dominant slice, mostly social media, that has been, in his words, optimized for nastiness. These platforms are literally designed to be addictive and to extract your data, which just fuels polarization and disinformation. It's built into the system.
But he's not giving up. He insists it's not too late. For the last decade, he's been working on a project to completely change how our data is controlled online. It's called the Solid Protocol.
Okay, so what is Solid? Well, it's not a new app you download. It's more like a whole new set of rules for the web that flips digital ownership on its head. Think of it this way. Right now, companies like Facebook and Google lock your data in their vaults. Solid is like a universal master key that only you hold, putting you back in charge.
Let's break down how this data backpack idea works. All your stuff, your photos, your contacts, your health records, it's all stored in a secure, personal pod that you own. You then give apps permission to access only the bits of data they need. So let's say you want to share medical info with a new doctor. You grant them access. When you stop seeing him, you revoke it instantly. The point is, you own your data, not the platforms. It's a total game changer.
And this isn't just a theory. The government in Flanders, Belgium, is already rolling this out. They're giving citizens these solid pods and treating personal data like a public utility, like water or electricity, something every single citizen has a right to control. This is huge.
So, just as we're starting to figure out solutions for the web's current problems, another, maybe even bigger challenge is right on the horizon: the completely unchecked growth of artificial intelligence.
And when it comes to AI, you can hear Berners-Lee's optimism start to fade. He's genuinely worried that we're missing the window to put safeguards in place. His warning is simple and stark. The horse is bolting. He's basically screaming that we need to get a handle on this now, before it's too late.
And that brings up the ultimate question, right? How do you safely build something that could one day outsmart its own creators? Well, Berners-Lee's answer is to create a CERN for AI, a neutral, non-commercial lab, just like the one where he invented the web, where scientists from all over the world could work together openly on AI safety.
But unfortunately, we're doing the exact opposite of that right now. AI is being built in these massive, secret, competitive corporate silos. It's a race to see who can build the most powerful system the fastest, not a collaborative effort to make sure it's safe for humanity.
But even with these huge challenges, from our broken social media world to the mad dash for AI, Berners-Lee is still convinced that the battle for the web's soul is a battle we can win. He believes that new, empowering systems can actually make the old, manipulative ones obsolete.
And that really brings us to the final, most important point. The fight for a better, more humane web isn't just up to its inventor. It's a choice that we all make every single time we go online. The battle for the web's soul is happening right now, and the only question left is, what part are you going to play?